Yeah, but this is a description, right? I need a demonstration, right? I can describe it too.
Step one, describe it. And show the free body diagram. So there you go. There is the downward acceleration due to gravity added in. See if I want to make sure.
Well, I think that's a presumption on your part. You haven't really demonstrated anything yet. I could demonstrate things going up and down.
I'm sorry. I already did. In fact, I sent that link to the measurement of
yeah, but that's words. I have an actual demonstration. I could do it right now for about $10 at the dollar store.
All right, and there's this. All right, but your free body diagram is not going to help because not going to help you, because when you do the free body diagram, which is standard physics, you're going to find that the acceleration due to gravity, the acceleration due to buoyancy, and the acceleration due to the rotation of the Earth all sum together to cause the balloon to go up, as predicted by gravity.
Sorry, are you talking about specific gravity now? Because I think you're using the word ambiguously. So you're talking about it's going to go up because of gravity?
Yes, gravity causes the thing that's So gravity causes the thing that has the strongest downward acceleration to be the one that wins in a competition. So the balloon isn't the winner of that competition. The air is the winner of that competition.
So how come if I fill it with regular air, it will fall down, but if I fill it with helium, it'll float? What's the differentiating factor there?
Because
in relation to gravity.
Yeah, if you refer to the free body diagram, if you replace the helium in the balloon with air, you'll see that the sum of the forces will net to downward instead of upward when you fill it with air instead of helium.
And why is that?
Why is that? Because the amount of mass in the balloon that has air in it is larger than the amount of mass that's in the balloon with helium in it. So when it comes to the competition between the air and the helium balloon, the air wins. And when it's a competition between the air and the air-filled balloon, the air-filled balloon wins.
Should we just redo this, or do you just want to go in the air and look like a fool? What is it you're even talking about?
This is just standard physics. It's covered in high school. This is the kind of stuff that you do in high school. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm too stupid for this.
I agree. Can't argue with air. So, all right. So let's see. Who was talking about the Lund? Was it Lund science? Right here, Chad 2000 posted something where I had commented 2 years ago. I mean, you've been holding this for a while. Good job. It says, well done. One of the better amateur torsion balance experiments. Do you mind if I reference this in debates? And Mr. Lund Science said, thanks. And yes, feel free to use this as you see fit. I see Chad's not here anymore.
Yeah, you kind of rumpused him when he was trying to speak.
Well, I was doing one topic at a time. It's kind of the polite way. So, all right, is that it?
Maybe that was the topic, but okay.
All right.
Oh, okay. I got a question for you.
Okay.
So if I were to suck at all the air out of a balloon and vacuum it, would it fall down to the ground due to gravity?
If you removed the air from a balloon?
All of it. Okay,
yes.
but at that point, the point I add helium, which is even more air, then it'll float up.
Yes, because when you put the helium in it, it displaces air, much more air than it displaces when it's uninflated.
Not in a vacuum. He said in a vacuum.
No, what I'm trying to get him to compare is, like, say, for example, if you had a balloon and you could suck out everything that is inside of the balloon, if that would fall, then compare it to a balloon filled with helium.
Yeah. So there's a difference in displacement, right?
Yeah, well, what's up with gravity there?
And well, it is doing exactly what gravity predicts. Draw your free body diagram, and when you do that, include the volume displaced by the balloon that's uninflated. Right? That's the
one that's been sucked out, all the air.
Well, you're talking about sucking these things out a lot.
What's R in your three-body diagram? What's R mean?
What's R mean in my free, not three, free body diagram?
Free, I said. Free.
Yeah, okay.
Like, so I'm free to go do what I want.
Yeah, all right. Well, let me finish with I don't know who I'm talking with about the sucking, that who wants to suck the air out of a balloon.
Okay, just forget about that.
All right, okay, I'll forget about that. What's the R stand for is your question, right? Who's that? Who's asking that? I want to make sure I don't.
That's correct.
Dr. Astroscientist Esquire.
That's right.
All right. I'm gonna PhD even. Wow, amazing. I'm gonna not believe that, but okay. So what's the R stand for in the free body diagram? That would be the radius, the measured radius of the Earth.
Oh, I don't think so. You've not measured the radius of the Earth.
I've personally done it 4 times.
You've personally done it. Tell me, which tool did you use to measure the radius?
Sorry, sounds like you don't understand how that might happen. But tell you what, here's the that's called the
lack of understanding. Don't worry about that.
Appeal from incredulity. Right there, I popped it in the chat there for y'all.
Oh,
just waiting for you to post your experiment.
What experiment?
Where you measured the radius of the Earth, bro. We want to see it.
A measurement is not an experiment generally. You could call it that in a general term, but it's not.
Okay, what apparatus did you use to measure the radius of the set of Earth?
Yes, I measured the angle to the sun.
Okay.
Measured the shadow. He measured the shadow.
I did. I measured a shadow. I did it 4 different times, and when I did it. All right, let me see this here.
How far away the sun is.
So you didn't measure. So you derived the radius. You didn't measure it. You derived it.
I measured. No, it's a measurement. So I measured the angle to the sun.
That's a derivation. You derived it.
No, I'll explain it. I'll explain the whole thing for you. Okay, I measured the angle to the sun, and since the sun is very far away,
is that the radius?
Is what the radius?
Is that the radius? The angle to the sun?
No, I was explaining it, and then you.
How did you determine that? How did you determine the distance to the sun being far away?
That's a separate thing.
Well, no. If that's part of your chain of logic, you have to. If that's part of your chain of logic, you have to establish it first. So, how did you get the distance to the sun?
You asked question number 1, and I'm answering question number 1. I'm happy to go to question number 2 after I'm done with question number 1.
No, what is base out of your tone? I'm not sure you know who you're talking to.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to play by your stupid rules. I will simply answer the question that you asked. That's fine. You go if you can't handle it, you go right ahead and kick me out.
No, it's you who can't handle it. You can't answer a question.
I'm answering the question. You interrupted my answer to the question like a little baby.
Got the distance to the sun. Can you answer how you got the distance to the sun? Can you answer how you got the distance to the sun? If you're using the distance to the sun as your source of knowledge, how did you get the distance to the sun? You need to establish that before you make it as part of your claim.
Excellent. All right. Step 2, I will gladly show you how I did the distance to the sun.
Show it now, because we're not just going to give it to you just because you say you did it.
All right. There we go. Now, the way that I measured the angle, the radius of the Earth is by measuring the angle to the sun. And I did it with other people at the same time on the same day. And because I know the distance is very far, we can use some trigonometry and we can get the radius of the Earth.
How do you know?
I won't go over that right now, but you know it. It's the Aristotelian method. Okay, multiple people did it the same day.
So it's an undefinable. Because Aristotle,
my penis is small and I can't stop compulsively.
Works the same if it's flat. You have to assume the distance to the sun first.
Somebody's got some personal problems. So
no, you have to assume it's flat. Okay, I'm just going to ban you. Bye. If you're too afraid to answer. If you're too afraid to answer. And you are. It's just clear you are.
So
it's clear you're too afraid to answer. How did you get the distance to the sun, apart from assuming?
Anyway, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. How'd you get the distance to the sun?
May I ask a question? Just one.
So you can
remember.
One, sure.
You and I had an argument, and for 59 minutes, you would not tell me the cause of sunrise. But you don't remember that.
I see. All right. Well,
for 59 minutes, you could not tell me the cause of sunrise the last time we had an interaction.
And he's gone.
Yeah.
I just wanted to.
Dude, that guy's arguments were garbage.
So I'm about to send this into the.
He's a clown.
It was awesome. I debated him a little while ago.
Him, me, and Mickey.
Shadow was awesome, and the other thing was
Miggy and I, a few years ago, he and Miggy were going to have a debate, and he brought up the solstice as his proof, and I asked him, "What's the cause of sunrise?" And that's a separate issue. No, it's not. That's your claim. Your claim is the movement of the sun is a proof. So, what's the cause of the movement of the sun? And he wouldn't answer. 59 minutes, he would not answer. So you're dealing with a clown.
Yep.
And that's all he is a clown.
That reminds me of when he debated Whitsitt, and Whitsitt held him to what type of refraction is the black swan for an hour, and then the whole thing ended.
There's only one type of refraction, because the other type of refraction, atmospheric or whatever they call it, terrestrial refraction, is fake. It's not real. Doesn't exist. It's made up. A fiction. Not this time.
Oh, out of all the people I've blown to bits, that one will hold a special place in my heart.
By the way, why don't you have for the soundboard, why don't you have the Beyond Belief queued up all the time?
What's that?
Yeah, that's Jonathan Frakes, Will Riker going, not this time. We made it up. Totally false.
I have to look
Why do you not? I cannot believe you don't have that queued up and just ready to go.
What is that, a movie reference or something?
No, it was a series that was on in the 90s called Beyond Belief. Fact or fiction, Beyond Belief.
Okay. So I was born in the 90s, man. You just gotta give me a break.
He's calling you old.
Yeah, I am old. I'm 40. Oh my God. No, guys. 42 today.
Today?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, happy birthday.
Oh, should we sing him happy birthday? Should we do it? Let's do it.
No, anyone who sings it gets a ban.
Happy birthday.
My birthday is two days away from yours.
Aww.
You nearly born at 70.
Mine is on the 26th of November.
Hey, 16th of November over here. Huh? That's awesome, dude.
Alrighty. All right, thanks, Adam.
When you get that fact or fiction Beyond Belief, make sure you play it for the people in here so they know what it is, because then they'll remember. Oh, I know that.
So
is that the Stinky Cash I hear?
Yo, Mimas, so if CV plays an audio of something singing happy birthday, that's not CV.
Does that count?
It's not what?
It's not CV singing it, so he can't get banned. He has to ban the audio.
No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time.
Oh, okay. I've seen this before.
No.
Yeah.
It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. You see how good it is, right?
Totally made up.
Need to have one of those right at the top of the soundboard. Click. We made it up. Not this time. Totally fiction.
Not me.
Suck my dick.
That wasn't me. Don't ban me, please.
Now I know why you were so
huevos.
You were looking for your birthday ban, weren't you?
Yep. It's a good thing I wasn't looking at who did that. Next time. I'll get you next year.
You'll have to ban the bot, man.
Ugh. Wait. Who was the only person to ban the bot? Indio. The day he accidentally banned the bot. Yes, we'll live in infamy. Oh,
that's just Boomer, though.
Yeah, I was just banning people. I didn't realize I banned the bot. Hey, I didn't even have to ban MCToon. He removed himself.
Well, why does he get to just move past the sun thing? Like, shouldn't he build upon that? Why do you just get?
Did I let him? Did I let him?
No, you didn't. That's good. I'm just saying, like, why should he be as crazy that he thinks like, oh no, I can just skirt past this? I don't
play by. You know what? He argues like a woman who's cheating. That's what he argues, like a woman who's cheating and lying about it.
Yeah,
that's how he argues. He has a very feminine way of arguing.
What's the reason he came here? Is he just trying to get his own show like they get an FTFE over in Tartaria?
Well, what happened was that he had a debate going today with some flat earther, but then it showed, so he came here.
Well, he's certainly a master debater.
Like,
I just asked him for R, and he couldn't give it. Couldn't tell us how he did it.
How did you measure the radius? I didn't. I measured the radius by not measuring the radius. Isn't that called an inference? And if you measure something and have negative space left over, you've derived it. You haven't measured it. It's the same thing when I do volume for concrete. Or when I'm
like how you called him out on that with about it being derived, and then he says, "No, I measured it," and then he slipped up. He says, "I measured the angle to the sun." And then, and calc, no, wait. And so that's how I measured the radius, you know.
And that gives me the circumference of 20, measuring to the sun, gives me the circumference of 24,901 miles. How'd you get that circumference with the distance to the sun? How'd you get the distance to the sun to know that circumference?
Exactly.
You have to have the distance. If you're going to do that, you first have to have the distance to the sun. You have to know how big it is. You have to know how far away it is. First. You don't look at the ground. That's not going to tell you anything. You have to know the distance to the object, period. Trig requires two points, a baseline and like the perpendicular. You cannot, or the angle. But you have to have two knowns, and then you measure the difference between them. You can't just have one line, and that's it. Because you can just change your math on the sun and make it work on from anything from a beach ball to a flat plane to an Earth that's 500 million miles wide. You can make it work. You just change the numbers. So it doesn't prove anything.
Like Crypto said, this ain't Monopoly. You don't just get to get one free claim and pass go.
Well, it's like the Big Bang people. They want one free miracle.
Yeah.
No, you don't get that. If you have a logical chain of evidence and you're presenting it as factual, then you have to show how your logical chain of evidence was formed. It can't just come out of nowhere. It has to, be based on some axiom.
I would just like to point out, whenever they're measuring the sun, I'm not even going to talk about refraction, but in their own model, aren't they measuring the sun, but it's actually 8.5 minutes ahead of where it appears to be?
Yeah. Well, also, how are they accounting for their fictional refraction?
Also, how do they know it's not one of the suns that come up during a selenilian eclipse, which really isn't there?
Yeah. See, more than one people looked at the angle of the shadow. That doesn't mean anything. Because we've already demonstrated.
Oh, my bad.
Go ahead, you first.
I wanted to maybe have Kosho, maybe since MCToon could answer the question, and Kosho and MCToon, they believe the Earth is a globe. Maybe maybe Kosho can answer about that question that you asked MCToon and he ran away.
Run away from the pain, yeah.
Because I wanna hear the answer, but he, for some reason, he didn't want to answer.
So that guy said he wanted to argue with us, but he kind of just left.
Well, he didn't want to argue. He wanted to preach. And he wanted
They don't have an answer. Yeah.
Preach.
They have presuppositions. That's all they have.
Yeah. You need to listen to me.
I must have listened to 6 months of bloody Nathan Oakley. Nathan's show where he was just literally for an hour just where's R? That's literally all he said. Just would not let him get past it. Where's R?
Yeah. They want to just move past the devastating points. Sorry, this devastates you. Why don't you want to talk about it? Like I said, it's like arguing with a cheating woman. That's what it's like arguing with. That's what these guys are like. Oh. Like, that doesn't make any sense. What about this? Like, what about this text message? What about you? They don't know how to argue. They don't. They're just fighting. They're fighting and they want to be able to preach. It's like they're in it for the drama. Like I said, they're really in like the feminine aspect of like their soul. Oh, that was a pretty good birthday present too. Me just being able to run MCToon off that easy.
I'm glad you popped in when you did.
No, all I just did, like I was bored. I was like, I'm going to pop in. This looks like there's a lot of people in there. I wonder who's in there.
Yeah, I mean, just feminine for sure. Just like someone asked him, "Where's the radius?" And it's like, dude had to say 20 words before he even addressed it. Oh, well, you see, what's the question again? It's like, dude, just tell me how do you get the radius? It's that simple. We're over here trying to make a beeline to the point. Dude wants to.
When I was much younger, I was arguing with an ex-girlfriend, and one of the things she told me was, "Stop using the things I've said against me." And I thought, that is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. and
Don't
like,
make me learn lessons. Don't you dare make me learn a fucking lesson that I need to learn. Nope.
Exactly. As a man, I was like, I can't even comprehend that level of like not being able to be accountable for yourself. And like in that case, there was no cheating or anything like that. She's just being like rude and disagreeable. And it's like it just baffles me that when you would try to hold somebody to account by saying, "Look, here's the proof," or "Give me the proof. Don't give me your conjecture or your derivations. Give me the proof." And they want to move around it. Like, to me, that's just like the opposite of manliness. Because men are supposed to be logical, stoic. They're not supposed to be worried about what the truth is. They're just supposed to accept it and live with it. And none of these guys can do that. They're not men. They're really feminine spirits, is what I believe. They don't have a man's soul. Well, they got a man's whole, and they probably use it a lot. But they do not have what makes a man, which is the ability to say, I'm wrong and that doesn't scare me.
Right. I mean, I'm no body language expert or, like voice expert or whatever, but like when I join the call and I hear him talking, it's like the way he's speaking, like you're setting yourself up for failure. You're speaking with such, I don't know, like, why are you so cocky? Like, because you can be wrong. You're setting yourself up like, if you fail and you'll look extra stupid, as opposed to just being a humble person. And maybe I was wrong about that.
Well,
instead you're speaking like you're speaking in a way where you don't think you could ever be wrong, and this makes you look like a bigger fool, in my opinion.
What they don't realize is that the shape of the earth literally doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. It's just a thing that may or may not be true. So what does it matter if it's true or not? If the facts point to it being true, be a man, accept it as reality, do what all the other men do and say, it is what it is.
Yeah, man, I'm here to help men and women improve their cognitive function and behave a little better with information. That's all. That's it. I don't care about the shape of the damn thing. It's huge. I don't know. Fuck it. I know it measures against the globe mass, and I just want to show people that. That's it. That's all I want to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is, if you get something that gives you reality, there's no point in denying it because it shouldn't change who you are anyway. No, I mean, not if you're a good person. Like if there's something about your ego that's tied up into it, that's different. Of course you're going to fight for it.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
A lot of folks don't want to do that because it does require self-work. Understanding the implications of disinformation and the information itself, accepting all of it, is a big boy step, big girl step. And it takes a lot of hard self-work to looking in the mirror and saying, what am I willing to entertain for the sake of truth instead of just mock what I don't understand?
Yeah. I just need to keep Seneca quotes with me while I talk to them. Because they're just, ignoring the truth. Or even ignoring an attack on what they may think is the truth shouldn't bother them. It shouldn't upset them. Because if what they believe turns out to be untrue, how does it hurt them? It doesn't. It doesn't hurt anybody. But for some reason, for them, it hurts them physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It hurts them, and I can't figure out why. That's really all I care. I don't care about beating these guys like in a debate. I wanna like dissect one and find out what makes them tick. That's why I've always been brutal in the past. Is because I'm not trying to convert them. I'm not trying to win them over. I'm trying to cut them open and figure out what the thing is that's making them tick. And I realized it's just they're not manly and they have no accountability. They can't introspect. Because, I mean, guys, how many women are on that side arguing for the globe in here with us? I can't name one.
Yeah, like prominent. Yeah, I don't know anyone.
Not even prominent, just regulars. Yeah. Are there any regulars on like the Nathan Oakley show that are women who go on there to argue for the globe?
Hell no.
No, there's not. I've never, ever seen one. There's none that come here to argue for it. Never seen one.
Coincidentally, were you here earlier this morning, or that was Indio talking to some like 14-year-old girl? That was really interesting. But that is an interesting point, though. Yeah, you don't see the the circle of MCToons and all these types of people. They don't seem to be any women there. I mean, do we got some ladies, right? We got KJ, we got a whole bunch of ladies. So
we got a lot of ladies. We have enough ladies to have a ladies' night. I know that.
Yeah, right. And that's like sometimes the biggest night in here is ladies' night, so that's always great. Yeah, we have lots of ladies too. That's a good point.
So why is it that the obfuscation, the unaccountability, the lack of ability to introspect is all with these strange weak men who are so anti-flat Earth? That's what this seems like there to me. It's like these weak men who can't introspect.
Men have bigger egos.
All that ego and nothing to back it up.
They want their Star Wars. They want their Star Trek.
That's what it is. I think you nailed it. What it is, like I love that stuff too, but it's not me. Doesn't define me. It's just entertainment. It's a fantasy escape. I understand it's not reality, but I understood it was not reality my whole life.
Not gonna lie, I did try to go Super Saiyan a few times, but I feel you. You know, people try to make fun of me for like, oh, well, you like this Dragon Ball Z. It's like, well, that's the difference between you and I. I'm able to separate fiction from reality.
Yeah. But
yeah, I actually love when people bring that up. Like, oh, you like Star Wars? You like this? Oh yeah, of course. I enjoy. It's a great fiction theme. Yeah, I don't get it confused with reality.
Don't get me started on
what it
Warhammer.
is now.
Don't get me started on Warhammer 40K. Because I'll go on for hours. I love it. I absolutely love it. But it's a storytelling device. It's not a way of life. Right?
Right. That's a good point. It's a good storytelling.
To a large degree, these are 40-year-old boys, is what these are. These are 40-year-old boys that we're dealing with. They never really, and I'm not trying to insult them. This is just basic reality. They're 40-year-old boys arguing for their ball. That's why they can't introspect. That's why they're always defensive. That's why they won't let themselves be held accountable. It's the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it is a bit like Santa Claus for quote-unquote adults. I mean, come on, people. We were supposed to let this go a long time ago. Granted, I was a space believer till, 5 years ago? So, but like you said, Mimas, presented with the truth, that shouldn't, you should just, whatever it is, you just go with what the truth is. You shouldn't have to wrap your ego up in anything. I like what you said about that. Be a man. Just, if that's the truth, that's the truth. What are you doing bucking up against the truth? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I feel like I saw that on a movie once. Meme. Somebody saying a generation of men basically raised by women. What did I see that on?
Isn't that Fight Club?
I think you might be right. Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, that's funny. They talk about toxic masculinity in today's age. Who raised all these men? Teachers, mostly women, single mothers.
Dude, that were a good shout. I knew I'd seen that on a movie.
Well, it comes from a lot of older stuff too. It's kind of
it's always a safe story, isn't it? Basically,
kind of that Socratic way of thinking. I see Kosho's in here. How you doing, Kosho? Long time. Is he still in here? Oh, if he didn't want to talk, yeah, he ain't got to talk. I'm a lot more chill now, Kosho. It's okay. By the way, the only reason I threatened to get rid of MCToon, which I didn't, he left, was he said out loud he was not going to play by our rules.
Correct.
I'm like, oh, well, no reason to have you here.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't know why you can't just address basic questions. What's the big deal? You just simply ask them, okay, so can we just, verify that before we move on? No, I don't want to do that. Okay, well then, maybe we don't want you to go on then. So you do.
Like I said, if they play by rules where everything has to be proved, they'll lose, and they know it. That's why they don't want to play by our rules, because our rules require you to prove everything you're saying.